What's going on, NBA 2K fans? It's Pete Toll, a.k.a. PT Sports 84, back with another 2024 offseason preview. Today we're previewing the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers ended up losing to the Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray came through in the clutch for the Nuggets to beat the Lakers in last night's game. The Lakers lose in 5 games to the Denver Nuggets. What can you say about this Lakers team? A lot of question marks. Running through, looking at their offseason and committed salary, they have about $182.5 million. That includes their first-round pick. Also with that, New Orleans has until June 1st to keep or defer the first-round pick that they owe the Lakers. Either defer it to 2025, or it, ends up, becoming a pick for this year. We'll see. The Lakers, man, it all starts with LeBron James. For those that don't know, LeBron James and D'Angelo Russell both have player options. With LeBron, it's a complex decision because it's going to be his 22nd NBA season. Obviously, it seems like he would stay with the Lakers. He can opt into the $51.4 million deal for next season. He could opt out of that deal, sign a 2-year, $104 million contract, or a 3-year, $162 million contract, both of which could include a player option after the first year. The only scenarios I see LeBron leaving, there's 2 that I kind of thought of in my head. Both doubtful to happen, but some things to kind of think about maybe. Actually, there's 3 total scenarios, but I'll get to the third one in just a little bit. So the first 2 with LeBron are both of him opting out. Hear me out. There was talks with Golden State at the trade deadline. How significant, who knows? I could see that being something. LeBron signs for a reduced salary. Golden State moves on from Chris Paul, and maybe they move a couple other contracts here and there to fit LeBron in. They take one last shot at it. It makes Curry happy that there's a veteran. They bring back Clay on a smaller, 2-year deal. You've got Kuminga. You got Draymond. They kind of play the small ball role with Draymond as a center. Kuminga's the 6th man. He gets all the shots he wants off the bench. That could be a scenario. Another one that I could see is the Los Angeles Clippers, because Ty Lue is over there. He stays in LA, but he goes to the Clippers. I don't think either situation happens. I think he goes back to the Lakers. But with the Clippers, they could move Russell Westbrook. They could move some other pieces. You then have James Harden, LeBron on a small, lower cost deal, Paul George coming back on a, basically, I guess an extension, whatever it is. Then you have Kawhi Leonard and Zubac. You keep somebody maybe like a Norman Powell, Amir Coffey, something like that, and then you have minimum guys to fill out the roster. That allows James Harden to kind of play one night he could have a bigger role, one night he may not. Paul George, same thing. Kawhi could rest for a while. LeBron doesn't have to use his body a ton, and then it's under Ty Lue. Like I said, it's a dream scenario, I guess you could say. I don't see it happening, but it's something that I thought of last night after the Lakers lost. But with LeBron, there's a lot of decisions as well with his son, Bronny, coming out of USC. I think ultimately he does declare for the draft. That gets him into the NBA pipeline for a team. I think ultimately what happens is the Lakers take Bronny and keep LeBron. That just makes everybody, happy. It gives LeBron 1, maybe 2 more years in the league, and then he's gone. We'll see what happens with LeBron. But looking at D'Angelo Russell's situation, obviously last year he was very bad in the postseason. This year he's so-so. The question is, do they sign him to a new deal or do they let him go in free agency? As far as with the player option, does he take it and then he forces their hand, or do they extend him? Like the questions last year were, do they sign him to the new deal, all that stuff. This year with the player option, they thought they'd be able to move him during the season. I don't think anything shook out. I think the best option is for Russell to opt into the $18.7 million deal. But I think he really wants out and wants a different role. So he becomes an unrestricted free agent. There are going to be suitors out there that would take him on. And then the question becomes, would the Lakers even want him back on a multi-year deal? Because they can't replace him because they'd be over the salary cap. So what do you do there? But in my mind, I have another scenario. This is a scenario I was talking about earlier, the third scenario. Clippers get bounced by Dallas. Ty Lue says, you know what? I'm going to go to the Lakers and coach the Lakers. There's an opening once Darvin Ham's fired. Chris Paul comes to the Lakers to run the point guard spot to end his career. Next to LeBron. On a reduced deal. Could happen. You still got Austin Reeves. You still got Rui Hachimura. You got Jared Vanderbilt there to help. You got Anthony Davis. So you have a couple guys. The big question is going to be, how do they feel the other roles upgrading the roster? They have some assets. They have 3 first-round picks that they could trade, 2024 or 2025. Then you add in 2029 and 2031. And they have tradable contracts as well. You have Austin Reeves on that roster. If they wanted to go big game hunting. So Trae Young of the Hawks, they were rumored for DeJounte Murray previously. I don't think they get him. But Trae Young could be gettable. That's kind of where I see things going. If they go for the big name, it's going to be Trae Young. The Nuggets aren't going anywhere. So for the Lakers to kind of, assemble, if you will, a really good roster that's competitive with them, they need to get 3-and-D wings and a defensive center that really could fill in the role for Anthony Davis and let him get rest. You're up against the salary cap second apron, and it's going to be a competitive market because it's a weak draft and a weak free agency. So overall, where do the Lakers stand as far as in the pecking order of players wanting to come play with LeBron? That's the big question. We'll see. Darvin Ham. Man. Talk about a coach that basically was scrutinized all year. I don't think he's the right coach for the Lakers. Is he a bad guy? No. Is he a terrible coach? No, because I saw Adrian Griffin that showed me what a terrible coach looks like that in the moment. He just wasn't ready. I think Darvin Ham, for the type of roster that he has, he's not that type of coach that could coach that team. Now, I've heard rumors of Mike Budenholzer possibly for the Lakers. I don't see that either because Budenholzer doesn't make adjustments. Where do you think Darvin Ham's coaching philosophies came from? That doesn't make any sense. For the Lakers, it's get an outside source like some kind of college coach or something if they wanted to make a big splash elsewhere. Or you go Ty Lue, like I said, try to persuade him to come from the Clippers. That, to me, seems like a likely scenario if the Clippers get bounced by Dallas. If the Clippers advance, I see it less likely happening, but we'll see what happens. The Lakers, though, are in trouble because LeBron's older. AD can't stay healthy. You saw a shoulder injury last night. It didn't make him effective in the second half. D'Angelo Russell, probably going to be a free agent Then you got Gabe Vincent there. It's not really going to do a lot. Your free agents, Taurean Prince, and then Max Christie is restricted. Christie is barely played. They don't seem like they want to utilize him a ton. You got Jalen Hood-Schifino, played mostly in the G League, was hurt most of the year. And then that's about it. Like, Cam Reddish is probably not coming back. Jackson Hayes doesn't come back. Like, Christian Wood doesn't come back. Like, there's a lot of guys that are going to look different on this team. The core pieces being LeBron, AD, Austin Reeves, and Rui Hachimura. And one of those two, and Reeves and Hachimura, could be dealt if you're going after a Trae Young. Plus the picks. Because LeBron's going to tell the front office, look, we got a window here of a year, maybe two, until I retire. Let's go all in. And more than likely, the Lakers are going to appease LeBron for what he did, getting them a championship in the bubble. And that's the route they're going to go. But let me know in the comments what you think the Lakers are going to do this offseason. Give me some thoughts on, if LeBron decides to come back, what they could do to retool this roster. Please like this video if you like this content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's mostly 2K content, but I try to sprinkle in some NBA stuff here. Real quick before we get out of here, I've had some people ask me, well, what about the 2K content part of things? You're doing a 2K video, NBA video with 2K in the background. Well, let's look at it realistically when we look at the ratings for teams. Most of these ratings right here that are in the game, they're not going to change much for next year. That's just 2K's MO. What they end with is what they start with for the most part. Unless they change the scale of the shooting guards, small forwards, power forward centers, and point guards as far as the attributes go, and or tweak badges, adding proper badges in and things like that, we won't see a big influx of changes when it comes to the overall attributes. Now, what I would like to see is the tendencies updated because LeBron is not going to get most of the shots here. It's split up more with AD closer to things. Just tidy up the tendencies here, especially with the spot ups in the mid-range. Players nowadays in the NBA don't spot up from mid-range. 90s, 2000s, and before they did. Not happening now, but it is what it is. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe. I'm going to have a Pelicans offseason preview coming up shortly, and we'll dive into them. And meanwhile, stay safe and take care.